case study. So this is one of my early labyrinths. And here was the site in the garden. This is up in Perthshire, one of my clients. If you're a whiskey fan, this is actually the site of the old Stronach distillery. It's now no more. You can still buy bottles at ridiculously expensive prices. But the cottage we're in here, it was one of the old distillery workers' cottages, and the distilleries across the road here in this scrubland was. So this was the plot we were working in. The client wanted a labyrinth. This is an old rockery feature that she wanted rid of. So it wasn't big enough for a labyrinth, so we had to do a bit more excavation in it. But I had some good energetic configurations, which I had dowsed. So here it is once we excavated it a bit more. And let's just see what we've got here. This white line is the north-south alignment, which I always put in. I dowsed the centre, so here's the centre stake. This is the north-south line. This yellow in here is the water line. There's one water line running through it. And this red one is the energy line running across it.
Wow.
Yeah. So that was the best I could find. It was one water vein, one energy line. So yeah, that's minimum for a power centre.
And that's where you put your center point.
That's what we did the centre.
So you need one water line and one...
At minimum. That's
one water line and one
energy line. That's the
energy
minimum I
line.
could find.
One energy line.
Yeah. So there's our north line.
So to douse a energy line, would the energy be coming up more or drawing down?
To douse an energy line, would it be? It's kind of on the surface. I see it more on the surface or just under.
Okay.
So often, if you're looking for physical signs when you're dowsing, which is quite important, I think, because then you can get rid of the tools. When I'm standing on water, I kind of feel it in my stomach. If I'm standing on a lay, an energy lay, then usually my feet start itching or they get hot. So, if I'm on a grid, if I'm on a happening grid, that's particularly on a crossing, that's sort of base chakra stuff. Curry grid, again, is more in the stomach. And then the other grids, you can go higher and higher until you get one that goes up your crown
So
chakra.
earthquake faults would be top
Yeah.
of my head.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Do you think different people feel it in different places for these?
Absolutely, yeah. I think these can be very individual reactions. This is part of learning to be a dowser. You have to learn what your body is telling you. Yeah.
A lot of
So-
going on.
Oh,
Wow, this is yeah.
that's amazing.
Yeah. So the reason we aligned it to north is you can just see here on this very damp day. We do get the odd sunny day in Scotland. That was the only place I could see any distant horizon. You can just about see the city of Dundee through there on a clear day. But everything else is mountainous around the side. So it made sense to align it to north, you know. Yeah,
So that's north.
that's north. We're going
Facing north.
this way, yeah.
You enter.
Yeah. I always like putting a little prayer stone at the entrance just so you can pause and set your intention before you walk. And we ended up having to put the stairs in here because we had to cut out the bank a bit more.
Now you had workers do this, the brickwork, I guess.
Yeah, we had some garden guys. They were doing an extension to the house, so...
And do you have to energize after they've done their work? Do you bring?
Oh, I was there during as well.
Okay, so you were on site directing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
What do you
Did I tell you the pipe story?
No, tell us the
No?
life story.
Okay. She didn't want it, she wasn't thinking it was going to be this size. You know, I was trying to make this as small as possible. This is about 24 feet, I think. I think that's the smallest we could get with the tiles that we're using. So when we were excavating the bank around here, you know, this was, I guess, a couple of feet. Just over here, we suddenly found this pipe, this conduit, that came out at a 45-degree angle and disappeared into the ground. And we went, uh-oh, here we go. You know, this will be the power cable for the house, or you know, it's a gas pipe or something like this. And there was a lot of stuff in the ground because this was the old distillery workers' cottages. You know, we were pulling out lots of wire and you know bits of just bent iron and stuff. Loads of waste came out. So we got to this pipe and we thought, oh, well, that's not very good. That's going to be in the way. What can we do? And the client said, well, it's, you know, it can't be anything. Well, you know, all the utilities come up the path here, so it's probably just some old stuff. You know. Well, what if it isn't? Or it's the neighbour's power supply or something. There might be live cables in here. So I said, okay, I got my pendulum out and I sat down and I must have been 20 minutes dowsing every possible question I could think of. You know, is this a water pipe? Is it a gas main? Is it an electrical pipe? You know, is it still connected at either end? Is it still in use? Will it matter if I cut this? You know, and everything came out clear. So I then
Was an event for the underground system?
no, the septic. It's all way off the other side. It was only a thing. It was only like a 1-inch pipe, like an electrical conduit pipe. So I then confidently picked up the hacksaw, handed it to the contractor and says, there you go, okay to cut it.
And no complaints.
And it was fine, it was empty, there was nothing in it.
What do you have up in the mid, the thing going up?
Oh, the standing stone, it's a little standing stone.
Oh.
I like to include a standing stone at some point in the labyrinth. And the reason for this is that you can get some detrimental energy coming out the entrance, depending on the labyrinth. So I would either put the standing stone here to block it, or in this particular case, I couldn't put it in the centre because it's just not big enough, you know, because it is just like 2 bricks wide. So the node point here was a natural place to put it. And it's nice to have the node because you cross the node 4 times as you walk. So, you know, you can make little offerings there and you can just touch the stone. Yeah, so it's really good. It's really powerful labyrinth, that. Here's another case study, another labyrinth. This is the Edinburgh Labyrinth, as it's called, built by the chaplaincy of Edinburgh University. The chaplain at the time was a lady called Di Williams, who's a Veriditas labyrinth facilitator. She trained with Dr. Lauren Altris in San Francisco. So she wanted this sharp replica labyrinth constructed. It's in this George Square Gardens in Edinburgh, which is kind of in the centre of the university. And the site I was dowsing for it here, I had dowsed the blind spring, the dome was over in the trees here. And I thought, well, can't really put it there because it's too close to the trees. That was the mundane consideration. And then I knew there was an energy lay that came through from Glasgow. It's also a visual lay running through from the hills at Glasgow over to Athlersea in Edinburgh. So I dowsed that. I thought, okay, here's that. And I dowsed this water vein coming off the blind spring. Then I found this one. Thought, well, okay, let's put it there. So ideally I would have put the centre here maybe, but because of the practical considerations of the space, I had to put it a little off. But in this situation I thought, well, it's going to sort itself out. Sorry.
How does that affect that? I mean, it doesn't have to be exactly in the center of the labyrinth?
If your intention is good enough when you're doing it, the energy will move to accommodate.
Okay.
It's been very well documented by quite a lot of dowsers that labyrinths call in water. Have you heard of this? Yeah. A lot of American and British dowsers have noticed this. The labyrinth will call in a blind spring, even if there's nothing there, after a few days of walking.
Do you have to walk it to call the water in? Is that
Yeah,
right?
I think it's the act of walking that does it. You know, it's the act of use that does it. So yeah, so now this one, the blind spring has moved. It's right under here.
Oh my gosh.
You know, it's a really powerful labyrinth.